on the news. Good evening. Hello, Barrister Fred Nzako, can you hear me? Welcome to...
Thank you.
All right, thank you so much. Let's quickly get into the conversation. You know, I'm hearing the feedback that just doesn't really sound nice, but if you can hear me, let's get into it. President Tinubu has released a statement officially ending the state of emergency, the emergency rule in Rivers State, and Governor Fubara has been directed to resume immediately, as well as his deputy and the State House of Assembly members. Of course, this was expected. Tomorrow is September 18, which brings to exactly 6 months the state of emergency that was announced on March 18. Many Nigerians were really flabbergasted when that state of emergency was announced. Would you say this state of emergency has achieved peace in Rivers State? Did it really achieve anything in Rivers State? Barrister Fred Nzako, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, I was asking, this state of emergency, did it achieve anything in Rivers?
I got your questions. Can you hear me better now?
Yes, I can.
Oh, good. In the first instance, why was the state of emergency declared? Was it because there was insecurity in Rivers State, or was it because there was political rancor between two main political gladiators? So it is when you know the problem, that's when you now begin to.
Barrister Fred Nzako, can you hear me? All right, we lost connection with Barrister Fred Nzako right there for a minute, who joined us over the telephone. In the meantime, let's bring you more news right here on the World News at 6. The Depot and Petroleum Products Marketers Association of Nigeria, DAPMAN, has called on the Federal and Road Safety Corps, FRSC, to investigate the road safety records of Dangote Group. DAPMAN alleged that the company's array of drivers had been known for being involved in fatal road accidents on Nigerian roads. The allegation came on the heels of Dangote's newly launched compressed natural gas-powered trucks for direct supply of petroleum products to filling stations nationwide. Barrister Fred Nzako, good to have you back.
Thank you. I'm back. So, relative to the problem between Nyesom Wike and his estranged political godfather, Fubara. So, I think it was a political disagreement that was colored and as if there was insecurity. So, if you say whether it achieved the purpose, one could say the purpose was political. Time will tell whether it has achieved that. But on one side, Mr. Fubara seems to have been, in a manner of speaking, politically castrated by the antics of the people in Abuja, by virtue of that declaration, because the grassroots support that he has at the local government level has been uprooted and taken from him. The local government election he conducted was nullified, and then another local government election conducted by the administrator. So the people at the grassroots, at the local government leadership today, in all the 23 local government areas in Rivers State, are yet some weakest men. So in that regard, Fubara has lost that flank. And then the people in the House of Assembly, majority of them are some weakest men. In that regard, he has lost on that flank. What is now left is for him to run the state as the governor. I do not know whether they will say appoint commissioners for him or whether he will be allowed to appoint his own commissioners. So by and large, one can say that Fubara lost out under that state of emergency declaration. And but the people of River, didn't lose out completely, because he had been etched in the heart and the mind and the spirit of the people of River State. He may have lost on those two flanks that I had earlier highlighted, but the people of River State are completely wholeheartedly with him. So what is now left for him is to build himself back into the minds of the people, because I do not think that the political problem that caused that declaration or state of emergency has been solved. Forget the monkey smiles. Well, for want of words to use, when monkey is smiling at you, he may not be smiling with his heart. So that is what I describe as monkey smile. Forget the monkey smiles when they came out from the Aso Rock Villa, as if all the problems have been solved. The problems are still there. Then as we go on, into as we advance much forward, especially towards 2027 election. It's only then that Nigerians will know whether the state of emergency actually was on the side of the people of Rivers State or on the side of a few political gladiators.
All right, then. While we're talking about the state of emergency in Rivers State, Fubara is resuming tomorrow. What is the first steps you're actually expecting him to take? Because the PDP has told him to remain loyal to the party while the APC is trying to woo him to come to their side. Would he be better off joining the APC instead of remaining in the PDP?
Well, the man is walking a tightrope because the APC is more interested in poaching people of, poaching governors across the country. In some cases, even getting them through intimidation and through all sorts of brinkmanship, and in some cases by twisting the governors. Some of them who have joined the APC didn't join the APC because they are in love with the party. They join because they want to protect their political hegemony or defend their political interests. In some cases, we saw that in Ibas, we saw that in Delta State, and even that of Rivers State. The news is in town that they are trying to twist Fubara and bring him over to APC. But he should weigh his options critically and know where his bread is buttered. And I think that even joining APC will not help him because it may make him to fall out entirely with the people. But all he needs to do is to run the state as a statesman, try to make peace with people as much as he can, but most importantly, not allow the funds of the state to be wasted. Because the people of Rivers are crying that the 6 months of the administrator Ibas was just wastages of their resources. That the man has just taken their money, messed their money up, and then paid the godfathers who brought him and all that. You cannot throw away all those side talks because they are livid, they are alive, because you cannot see what he has achieved within those 6 months.
Apart
from trying to settle those who brought him.
All right.
So I think what Sim should do is to try to be a good man, run the state with all honesty, and then the people will always stand with him.
You know, while we're talking about the sole administrator, there is a video currently making the rounds about tension being at the Rivers State government house, as some officers and security personnel who are actually attached to the outgoing sole administrator, Vice Admiral Ibas, accuse him of attempting to sneak away with the state's wealth and resources while leaving them empty-handed. In the video, you could see some of his aides, some of them putting on their police uniform and the bulletproof vests, holding their weapons and saying, we no go agree, we know they do again, you want to loot our resources and leave us with nothing. You can see in that video, is this the true mind of the people of Rivers State towards the sole administrator? And you also talked about how he was there to enrich his friend. In the video, you can hear them say, we'll lock the gates and nobody will step out. One question is, how come all of this did not happen before now, but on the eve of his leaving the government house?
Those men are only playing to the gallery. They are crying to at a very late hour. Mr. Ibas has finished his assignment, whether the assignment was to the best interest of the people of Rivers or to the best interest of his appointers, meant to be decided by observers and watchers of Rivers State politics. But those men who were now behaving rascally, they were not supposed to do so. And in the code of ethics of their profession, what they are trying to do is a local mutiny, and they could be charged for mutiny. And they could even be arraigned and tried for trying to cause a breach of the public peace. I think what they did was wrong, even though their intention may be right, but their approach was very wrong. Why didn't they do that since? They served the administrator for the 6 months, and now it was at the late hour the man was packing his bags to go, and they say he wouldn't leave. That was childish. That was illegitimate. They shouldn't have done that. And no matter how, if you even go to check their nativity, a lot of them may not even be from Rivers State. So you see that they are not crying for the people of Rivers in good faith. They are only doing so possibly because the man made some promises to them and he did not fulfill. such promises, which must be fiduciary promises. So if they are trying to say he should not go, what does that mean? The man was already going. They have no power to stop him from going. Had no power to even allow him not to go. They were only making a mockery of themselves. If they loved River State, why didn't they demonstrate when it was time? When they demonstrated some months back, now at the 11th hour they are demonstrating. I think it is an expression of indiscipline, and it should not be tolerated.
It is an expression of indiscipline. But again, I ask, how do we know that is not the exact way the people of River State feel towards Vice Admiral Ibas? We've seen quite a number of people come out to say that this is not what they want.
The people of River State did not mince words to express their feelings. They didn't wait for the late hour. Immediately that state of emergency was declared, many of them went on protestation, and then anywhere the sole administrator entered or his wife tried to become the first lady automatically overnight of the state, they didn't take that lightly with them. It was at the time when they needed to protest, people protested. There's no love lost between the people and the sole administrator because they didn't elect him to lead them. It was an anathema. It was illegitimate authority that he had given to him by the Mr. President and endorsed by the legislature. And we cried out loudly and clearly that this was illegitimate, that this was unconstitutional, and we continue to say that it was unconstitutional. So now that he has finished his unconstitutional 6-month reign, he should be allowed to go home. And that was why those who are feeling that Mr. President has done so well for the people of River State by asking Fubara to come back, I can tell you that they have not done them any good, because there's no way Mr. President would have extended that tenure of Ibas, because Mr. President has been told in clear terms by Nigerians and the international community that declaration was undemocratic. There was no security challenges in River State. It was purely political issues, and political issues demanded political solution and not state of emergency declaration. So we don't say what is right is wrong, or what is wrong is right. People of River State said so. They demonstrated. They went to the streets, and then they expressed themselves in various fora. At every point they had opportunity to say so, they did so, and that was courageous of the people of River State.
In the statement released today to announce the end of the emergency rule, President Tinubu noted that from intelligence available to him, there is what he called a groundswell of a new spirit of understanding and a robust readiness and potent enthusiasm on the part of all stakeholders in River State for an immediate return to democratic governance. You from your utterances, you're seeing this as a win for Wike and the APC in River State, and seeing Governor Fubara as someone who will become governor for the time he has to live out his tenure. He will be a handicapped governor.
You do not need intelligence report to know that people are happy, especially when it is a civilian happiness. You don't need intelligence report. If people are happy, they will express it. If they are not happy, they will express that they are not happy. They were not happy when that declaration was made. And today they are happy that the declaration was not extended, and that the man who they see as a meddlesome interloper, the man who they see as a usurper of the seat of government of River State, has gone for good by the declaration of Mr. President, who has now asked him to leave office. And because if Mr. President has made a pronouncement of extension, the hue and cry will now continue. But because we have a National Assembly that will never ask questions of the executive, they will still rubber stamp it again, as they usually do. So on that side, people will now say, oh, Mr. President, thank you for giving us opportunity to breathe. At least let us begin to rebuild our state. But I think that you don't need intelligence report to know that the people are happy. It will show in their faces, it will show in their utterances, it will show in their actions and their reactions to every issue about their state. And so those who are telling Mr. President are only trying to massage his emotions and his ego. Mr. President, people are in love with you. They are not. They are only trying to rebuild their state that they felt was in the wrong hands for the past 6 months. And then they can only do so by coming together, burying their hatchet. But what is the most important and most critical is Mr. President should know that his minister, His Excellency Ezenwo Wike, needs to be told to allow Fubara to govern the state.
Well, some people are thinking he might allow him now, when almost all the local government chairmen belong to the APC.
Well, he has been stripped bare politically and left to be dancing alone in the marketplace. But he is not alone. The spirit of the people of Rivers State are with him. So he will not expect that the House of Assembly will be very friendly, because they have never been, especially now that it is still the same that is there. And then he will not expect that the local government chairman will be taking orders from him. Now the money from federation account to the local government will now be going direct to local government. In fact, it will happen that only in Rivers State.
Is he better off resigning then?
He is not better off resigning, because he doesn't need to run away from in the face of challenges. All he needs to do is to maintain frugality and expediency in discharge of his duties. He doesn't need to run away, because running away will not help the matters. All he needs to do is to be morally upright and morally conscious. The battle will now come back on his behalf by the people of Rivers State, especially come 2027 or even before that.
Because of our time, I would like you to answer the following question in about 2 minutes. Let's go to Anambra State, where Okechukwu Iseguzoro, on behalf of Ohaneze Ndigbo, has called out Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo and the governorship and deputy governorship candidates of the APC in the state, that is Nicholas Ukachukwu and Senator Uche Ekunife, respectively, saying that they are disgracing the state. Their conduct over the past few weeks have been disgraceful, and they need to end all hostilities before the elections in November.
I agree with anybody who makes such comment that the mudslinging that we are seeing in their political campaigns is very embarrassing to the nobility and the integrity of the good people of Anambra State. That is not who they are. That's not who we are. Anambra State is noted with nobility and with enterprise. There's no need washing their dirty linens in the public so shamelessly in the manner they are doing it. You can conduct your campaign, tell the people what you want to do for them and how you intend to do it. That's all, and not to mudsling and then begin to cast aspersions on one another. But I think it is the governor who should be blamed more, because he was the one who started that unnecessary bad mouthing of the opposition. Meanwhile, he has enough pedigree to market himself. He has enough works that he has done that will speak for him. He has enough issues to talk about. Why would he now delve into the market woman's mudslinging? I think it was very shameful, and Governor Soludo must be told the home truth that his approach to the governorship campaign this year has left much to be desired. And we are really embarrassed by his actions, so to say the least.
But how do you see this affecting the votes for him at the polls, affecting his conduct at the polls?
It is not likely to affect anything. People have learned that politicians can say anything, sometimes outrightly rubbish, without meaning what they're saying. What people are looking at is they are looking at issues beyond the mudslinging. They're looking at core issues beyond that to affect their lives and their daily living. If the governor has done well to deserve a second tenure, they will vote for him.
But talking about if the governor has done well, there's been a spate of killings across Anambra and the people are not happy.
If he has not done well to deserve a second tenure, they will not vote for him, no matter how he tries to badmouth the opposition. That is what the people are looking out for. So all those badmouths will not end anybody any single vote at all. What the people know what they are looking out for, and they will vote according to their conscience.
All right, Barrister Fred Nzako, thank you so much for joining me on the World News at 6 this evening. I do appreciate you. It's always a pleasure whenever we get to have these conversations.
Thank you. Many thanks.
Thank you so much, and enjoy the rest of your day. You have been listening to the World News at 6 right here on Voice of the People 90.3 FM. Just before we wrap up, let's take a look at the top stories again. You heard that the police have confirmed the abduction of 8 worshippers in Zamfara during morning prayers. President Tinubu ends state of emergency in Rivers, Governor Fubara to resume immediately. Ohaneze berates Soludo Ekwunife Ukachukwu over hostilities ahead of Anambra gubernatorial election, and Dele Momodu hosts Peter Obi in Ghana. That is a wrap of the world news at 6. My name is Chioma Innocent. Please follow our social media handles at VOP903FM. For coverage of your live event and brand news mentioned in our news bulletins, do send a mail to news@voiceofthepeople.ng. Good evening and thank you for listening. Do stay tuned. Born to Leave is coming up shortly, and after that, the evening rush comes up at 7 p.m. with Esther Nwachukwu.